If Craig was a waifu,
What the fuck type of question
Okay,
is this, bro?
okay, that's enough. Let's just get this episode done with.
So let's just get this started then. All right, casually, we're going to say hello and welcome to episode 1 of A Slice of Anime, our new spin-off series here on the channel. So this is going to be more laid back, as I said on the Slice of Gaming episode. It's not going to be news focused. It's just going to be casually just talking about what we're watching, what we want to watch, all that other good stuff. Kind of just chilling and hanging out. This also is not a weekly show. This is going to be a bi-weekly show. Yes, we did, Bench. I know you're typing in chat right now. This is a much more relaxed show than the Slice of Gaming. So we're going to talk about you trash talking in the chat, Bench.
The show is
so-
in fucking shambles already.
Yes,
This is what happens
exactly.
when we don't have a goddamn.
So hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff on all the platforms that we are on. Since I don't have Wolf's docket right now in front of me, I can't remember all the
I
platforms
can
we're
just send it. Okay, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Audible. And
Man hasn't
also, give
memorized.
the episode a like. I don't have it memorized. I have the last.
follow us
episode
on
of
Twitter.
Gaming.
on. Okay.
Sending fucking
That's
AI fucking art, you motherfucker.
This
No,
isn't
no,
AI
we
art.
don't have to. We
Yes,
don't
it is.
have to
I can-
fucking
I can-
talk
I can
about
see the
that. We don't have to
fucking
talk about that.
Yeah, but this is a
Anyway,
Slice of Anime
let's
now. We
start
can
up-
talk about it.
No, we're not. Anyway, starting off with the anime episode, we're gonna talk about a live action show.
Exactly.
Let's fucking
Yeah.
go.
Perfect first episode.
All right. So if you guys know, we all like One Piece. Shocker. Well, Dark doesn't like One Piece, but we pretend.
What the
he does.
fuck?
And we
What type of
we
shit is
all
this?
we all finished the One Piece live action.
We did.
So let's just all talk about it. It sucked ass. I'm kidding. I just put on my Dark impression. I thought it was great. I loved it.
Yeah,
solid
I
9
loved
out of
it.
10 show. They pretty much
Nine.
nailed every character. I gotta give W to the casting. The casting is easily the best part of the show. It is
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous how they
Casting
Yeah.
and like the
Zeph
special effects,
Zeph-
prosthetics.
the practical effects. Yeah. The fact that Zeph literally came from the manga into the like real life, I don't know how they did that because
Yeah,
Zeph is
Zeph-
actually
Yeah.
Zeph Kuro, I think, are like the top 2 like literal translations from the manga.
Yeah.
yeah.
He was pretty good.
And the Straw Hats in general are also like I was a little apprehensive of them at first, but seeing them in action, they really nail all their roles. I think especially Emily Rudd as Nami.
Nami is probably the best
Oh,
out of
yeah.
the strats.
I'd also give it a 9 out of 10. And I think calling it a live action anime is a disservice. It's just a really damn good TV show.
I mean, it is a live action anime. That's quite literally what it is.
By definition, it's a live action anime, but hey, you know what? You do you, man. I get what Bench is trying to say though. It's like to not give it the stigma of the live action anime that so many have failed before, like Dragon Ball Evolution and
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop. Oh man, you
It's
guys
just-
should watch
yeah.
those. They're funny.
I know, I'm
just
gonna watch
really
the live
good.
action instead of the anime. I've
Oh,
never
smart.
seen Cowboy Bebop, so I'll just watch the live action.
I watched
boy.
it this
No,
year. It
it's
was
a-
very good.
The live action.
You watched the live action?
No, I watched the anime.
Oh,
No, but you should have said the live action. That would have been funnier. I watched the live action before the anime, so that's something.
So you went to the upgrade route.
We can argue the upgrade. All right, that's all I'll say. I'm kidding. Before any Cowboy Bebop fans start getting all pissy in the comments, I'm joking. I only watched like half of Cowboy Bebop, but I enjoyed it.
Do we
Yeah, I'm
want to say like
definitely
our
behind on,
history?
like, every classic anime.
I
Do we want to
mean,
like
I will say though.
talk?
What do you want to
You
talk
go,
about,
Wolf.
Bench? I always want to hear what you want to talk about. No, I want to hear what you
Well,
want to talk
I
about.
was gonna
Like,
completely
yeah.
segue away from talking about. So you go.
Okay, well, I just want to talk real fast about live action because Dark has some shit to talk about live action. I just want to hear what he wants to say because Bro was angry about the live action. He hated every second of it. I want to hear what he wants. Let him sit on his high horse.
okay. I'll be honest. When I first heard the announcement, I groaned and I have been adamantly, like, I can't even fucking say that word. I have been against this idea from
Adamantly.
the very beginning. Yeah, thank you. I can't say words right now. I have been against this just because I know how live actions go. And I can't say I was thoroughly surprised that they did a decent job with the
Decent.
live action. I still have my issues with it.
bro had his preset opinion going into the show and was like, you know
I
what?
gave it a fair
I'm not
chance.
gonna change from it.
I sat down and I watched it. You gotta give it.
Yeah.
I just want to know what your issues with it were. Because I'll admit it's nowhere near perfect. There are massive issues. I think
Oh
the
yeah,
big
I mean
thing,
nothing is perfect, so everything's gonna
Oh
have
yeah, I
its
wasn't
flaws
expecting it to be
and
perfect. I wasn't expecting
defects.
that.
like what, like I gotta talk.
It's
about
mainly
this.
with
Garp.
so
Why was Garp there so often? Because he
yeah,
was
Garp is
not
okay.
really weird.
there
The Garp
in
plotline I was
East.
against until the end, but also his actor nailed the role of Garp for sure. Like
Well, yeah. Well, no, I mean all
yeah.
the actors nailed their roles. Yeah, but no, I think it's more so the fact that like he feels so like forced into certain moments where I'm like, all right, I want to know what's happening with the Straw Hats. And oh, okay, we're doing a Garp scene.
I think that's just a problem of, I don't want to say American because this is definitely not a fully American production. There's, as you can tell from the actors, a lot of them are from South Africa. So I just want to say this is just a Western start. I know everything is on. But just a Western style of storytelling, there's usually an A and a B plot. So the fact that they now got
That's
this
true.
Garp B plot going forward is just something that, I don't know, it's just the way of storytelling is done with live action shows, or not even just live action, but a lot of shows in Western media in general. So the fact that they even based the B plot on, I guess this was like a side SBS thing that Oda wrote, was like a Garp, Helmeppo, and Kobe like side story. So they just expanded on that, which is kind of neat. So you at least know they're doing their homework on what material to work with.
Yeah, I mean, it was the thing that's interesting. There was an interview. The thing Oda was most against initially was the Garp plot line, where
Was
he
he
was
really?
like, I don't. Yeah, like they did an interview with the director, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Oda was like for everything." He was a little apprehensive to the Garp plot line initially, though, and I mean, eventually he did sign off on it and allowed it. But like, it's clear that like his initial impressions seemed to be the clear like, yeah, the Garp stuff felt forced in at points.
Mm.
It wasn't even that it felt forced. I felt it was kind of like odd how the whole thing played out. Because Garp throughout 90% of it, I should say, maybe a little bit more, had like one tone throughout the whole series where like he was on the Straw Hat's ass like the whole time, to the point he said fucking Mihawk after them, which was fucking insane that they did that.
Let's avoid major spoilers. But I mean, it's not that crazy.
I don't know. Should we do spoilers?
No. I mean, we can save spoilers for later. Have a little spoiler block. Let's just have the spoiler block now. Moon, put that in timestamps.
Spoilers.
Yeah. So we're going into
Dark
the
started
One Piece
talking,
live actions. Yeah.
I'm
I figured
gonna
we were just
immediately.
this whole thing would be spoilers off the get go, but yeah.
I will say
I bet.
the Mihawk, everything with Mihawk was like 10 out of 10. Every aspect there
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed that.
His introduction. It's an
With
interesting
Krieg.
choice. You're literally killing Krieg, but I think it works better. I don't know.
I
I'm
think
so
it worked.
mixed on like whether or not it works, yeah, but I'm like then Arlong coming to Baratier and then everything in that regard. It's an interesting choice. I want to like think about it more. Maybe do a rewatch of the live action to really solidify my thoughts on that specific plotline.
Yeah. And I think Syrup
It's definitely
Village
interesting when you
was
look
very
at
well
it as like
done.
a whole. Is it has a lot of Western, because as someone who has actually like has taken writing classes, it's
Oh, look
definitely
at you.
interesting to see the the structure of this 8-episode arc and how they kind of just, instead of just rewriting and adapting the story as is, they kind of just took One Piece, they looked at all of the material that they had, found like the most Western, I will say this is probably a detest against the show, is that it's very formulaic in its structure. Because you have, the reason why Garp's side story probably exists as a B plot is one, so non-fans will have that shock value of Luffy going grandpa, that moment. You have you also use them to introduce stronger characters like Mihawk. So he's just so Garp is a catalyst for a lot of these like bigger moments that are supposed to surprise non-fans. And I think that's the whole point of the show really, was here is a Western approach to One Piece and a Western writing style, but it kept all the flavors of One Piece, and we were introducing them to non-anime and non-manga reading fans, because this show is pretty much made to bring in non-One Piece fans instead of being a fan service to One Piece fans.
the last thing this show should have done is try to be exactly one for one and follow the manga like without question. Because there are a lot of gags in the manga that would not work in live action, like Luffy like taking Arlong's teeth. That would just look dumb in the live action. Let's be honest.
Yeah. And I
He
think
did punch him out though.
That was
I
wrong.
think the arc that like excels and is very good with the changes of Syrup Village. Like that arc went
I was
being
just
from
about to get.
middling in the manga to like being a highlight of the entire show.
I will say I am a Syrup Village defender, and even then, like the live action was definitely a better version of it. Because the problem with Syrup Village is that Kuro's plan is so fucking stupid. Here, it makes a bit more sense.
It's still stupid, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a better version.
And they actually
because
kill
in the
Mary.
freaking anime, it's like, yeah, no, that was actually the shock. Because they realize it's like, oh man, fake out deaths, they're really dumb. And it's not like Mary ever does anything later in the story. Like, unless Oda decides, oh yeah, Mary's the new villain of the next arc. Like, I don't know. Then they're going to have egg in their face, but still.
I
Yeah,
love
I
that
think-
the joke right now is if on the One Piece live action subreddit is all the jokes of like, oh, they killed Mary, Pell is going to be dead at the end of Alabasta. That
Yeah.
bird
Pell
is not
doesn't-
living.
If they do make it up to Alabasta and Pell doesn't die, I'm going to be pissed. Because I want that motherfucker dead.
Yeah. This is getting a season 2, right?
It's
It's getting a season
like
2 for sure.
I just saw something online that said next week's performance is probably going to be like a really big deciding factor for that. Like obviously the week premiere is going to be big, but they want to see
Of
does it
course.
have lasting power. So they want to see do these like because it's like number one. The thing I kept seeing repeated was it's number one in like 84 countries across the world. So they want to see do these numbers continue into next week.
Yeah, because you look at Wednesday and Stranger Things, they wanted to do at least close to that because like those shows,
We're gonna
Netflix
end.
they kept fucking pushing that to me like every fucking week. I'm like, I'm not watching Wednesday. Netflix. I don't care how many times you tell me it's number one. I'm not watching this shit. But they want something like that where it's like Wednesday was there for multiple weeks at number one, despite not being like a brand new show. They want that type of performance for One Piece, and I think I could see it. I definitely want to
think
see
it'll
like,
do it.
what happens.
Word of mouth will help because everyone's like, oh, they actually did a good job. Everyone should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's unfortunately the Netflix model, and I think I said this on the Slice of Gaming podcast or somewhere. But yeah,
Oh my
Netflix
God.
requires like crazy amounts of viewership to even be considered. Because like the joke of Netflix is that everything gets canceled like right away. Nothing ever gets like a second or third season at Netflix. And because they just have like stupid high expectations, Square Enix and Netflix are siblings in that regard.
Very
Like-
sweet couple there.
So yeah, I mean, well, it's definitely. I think it has definitely a possibility because clearly there is an attention to it. This is probably the best word of mouth that Netflix has gotten in a while because Netflix adaptations are usually not that great. So I think they would want the good press of like, hey, you know that show you like that we did a good job with. Oh, we're gonna do a season 2.
And I
Yeah.
also, before we like hop off of this topic, I want the hater to take the stage. You were really upset about what's it called, Arlong Park. Just go ahead.
You can cut me off mid sentence as I was talking about Garp. I could have
Well, no, I wasn't cutting you off. The topic. Oh, actually, before we even get there, I do want to mention Smoker at the
Fishman.
end. Fucking
Yeah.
sick as hell. I'm so ready.
Also, Fishman
But yeah,
looked great. I don't care what anyone else says. The Fishman looked
Oh, they
great.
look
anyone
fucking
complain
awesome.
about the Fishman?
Practical effects look great. Like they genuinely, because at the trailer I was like, I don't know, but then you see him in action, it's like, no wait, this is like the best way they could have adapted the Fishman.
So Garp's plotline felt really weird. Well, for 90% of it, it felt fine, but it felt like he had like a drastic 180 towards the end. So like throughout the whole like for pretty much the entirety of this show, he's hunting the Straw Hats to the point like he's getting pissed off. He sends fucking Mihawk after them, which like the idea of that by itself is already fucking insane. And then like he catches up to them in Arlong at the end of Arlong Park, and he's just like, I'm just testing you guys. Like what the fuck?
So I understand where you come from there, but like the whole point of that was that like Garp says to Kobe even right at the end, it's like the law is like absolute or whatnot, but like what's more important is following your own code. And he saw just how determined Luffy was to do everything to become a king of the pirates. So in
Yeah.
that moment, like Garp realized like he is following his own code. Like it's like, okay, we'll see how far you really make it. You know, I'll see you on the grand line.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and I
This
think,
don't want to
and I
stop
think
you too
if I
early.
can say something, I think in the manga, all the important Marines have their own like justice that's actually just like applied with them. I can't think of the examples, but they just all have like
Absolute,
justice.
unsure. I
Lazy.
love. No, it's unsure for
Okay.
Kizaru. Who, by the way, he has to be Adam Sandler if they ever get that far, which they won't. But like, still,
Yeah.
it's gotta be the case.
So.
But yeah, most of my issues. Oh, my perfect cutting off.
No, go
Were you
ahead.
gonna
Go
say
ahead.
something?
No,
Yeah, I
no,
was
it's
just saying, I was pleased with the show until they made it to Erlong Park. If you ask anyone who's watched or like read One Piece, they're gonna mention how significant of an arc this is, and I feel like I wasn't expecting it to be 1-to-1, but they made so many changes that I think did it a disservice. That felt really weird.
I
And
would
some
not
scenes
say.
made no sense
sorry, go
for the anime only, for the not anime, but for the
live action
live
only.
action only people. Like Arlong's weapon in the anime, they kind of showed that this weapon is like no fucking joke. So that when Luffy like grabs it and breaks it, it's a big deal.
You look at that
In the-
thing. I don't know. It looks
in-
pretty scary. I think you could infer.
I mean, yeah, but like you don't see the like just how fucking devastating it is until like an anime and manga. In here, they kind of just rolls up and he breaks it. You're like, oh, what the fuck was that thing doing there?
Okay.
Then
Here's the
there
thing.
was the. Oh no, you go.
Real quick on the weapon, I want to point this out. Something dumb that a lot of anime do, and I like anime, but this is a dumb thing that a lot of anime do. The villains like to spend like 30 minutes explaining what their powers or their weapons do. And you know how dumb that would look in a live action? Like, you don't want Arlong going, this sawtooth cleaver is made of aluminum alloy or the craziest metal. And then a fishman in the back is like, oh, I saw Arlong kill a guy using it. It would be really much of a pace
yeah,
breaker if that was the case. Like,
They
I don't
didn't
think they need
show
to
like
explain
how
it.
fucking strong it is. They didn't show him swing at anything besides Luffy. They didn't show him
Look at
destroy
that
anything. I
thing.
feel like that's a missed opportunity.
You look at that thing and tell me you wouldn't want to get hit by it. Like you can take a hit from it. I think that's fine enough. A lot of live
it's
action.
pretty like subtle. It's pretty like subtle. It's implied. It's like you look at this giant ass weapon.
Yeah, like
And
if
then,
someone's holding a giant ass sword, like I'm not gonna try to fucking 1v1 him.
Then my other issue was with how they made it so that in this iteration, normally the villagers they know what Nami was doing, and it was a big
Yes,
part of that
this was
arc.
an issue too. Yeah.
In this one, they completely changed it to the fact they didn't know what she was doing. They just outright hated her, and it felt really
Yeah,
weird. Like
it was
felt
a
like it
weird
took away
thing
from
where
the arc.
like Nojiko hated Nami with every fire. I was like, I don't know if I'm as big of a fan of the changes like of the villagers not knowing. I think
Did
it was
the
a much more
villagers know? Because I
powerful
knew
scene.
Nojiko knows, but did the villagers know?
In the original
they
anime
didn't.
and manga, the villagers knew that Nami like was lying to try to protect them. Like that was the whole point of that scene, and why like when they went out to fight without her to fight Arlong, it was like a powerful moment because it showed like it's like, oh yeah, Nami, we knew the whole time. You know, we're hoping to protect you and all that. Like it made for a really good aspect there in the
I
original.
think they
And
just
I think
changed. I think they just changed it to just add to the fact that like Nabi is a person who like shut everybody out and is lying is like has lie on top of lie on to try to
Yeah.
do what she wants
But
to
that's
do.
what made this moment
It's a
special.
it's a different take.
That despite that, they still knew. Just they raised her
Well,
and shit.
Well, the thing of it is that like Nami in the original, I forgot my point. You go on, Burke.
And then there was the whole walk scene, which felt
mean,
really rushed. I don't know if it's just me. I feel like they would do that in like 5 seconds.
Well, the thing is that they didn't like actually go fight Arlong until the next day. So they're like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
go kick Arlong's ass. Well, let's go take a nap first, you know.
Yeah, it's like we gotta go get ready first. We gotta prepare.
And then another thing
I do.
for
It's like
for people who only
Go
watch this generation will have like no idea what the fuck went on with it. Nami's new tattoo, they didn't explain it whatsoever. She kind of just gets it, and you're like, what the fuck? They
Yeah,
don't
you
explain
can
like the
just see it.
significance
Yeah, I
behind it
mean,
or anything.
you
It felt
can
really
definitely
weird.
see that it's like it's the Arlong Pirates logo, and then it's not. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely not
They
as
fo-
well explained,
focus
but
in.
they don't explain
That's
what
the
the new
thing.
tattoo is.
A lot of anime and manga over-explain stuff sometimes. So
I mean, there's
compared to like
over-explaining,
more
there's not
Western
explaining it
series.
whatsoever. They kind of just show it, and they're like, oh, okay.
No, Yeah, because they could just like see it, infer like, oh, okay, she changed the tattoo because she's no longer with the Arlong pirates.
Yeah, but then like
Look, it's a
the
pretty
way they
close
set it up to when they went from that scene immediately to the tangerine scene. If they would explain, hey, this is a tangerine because she wanted something different, she wanted to honor her mom or something, it would have made sense transitioning into the tangerine scene with them on the boat.
Wait,
It felt
what?
weird to me. Because
Wait, what
after
about
the
tangerines?
Where they
So
have the
that's what the
tangerines
tattoo
on the
is.
boat.
Did you
I'm
forget?
trying to understand what you mean. Oh no, I remember the tangerine tree. What's the issue with the tangerine tree on the boat? That was in the manga.
No, there's not an issue with the tangerine tree on the boat, but the tattoo that she gets, it's of tangerines. That's what it is.
Wait, her
So it would've
tattoo
made
is a tangerine?
It's a windmill and tangerines.
Yeah, you didn't
Wait,
realize that?
what?
Yeah.
It said that in the
Is
anime.
that the
It's-
original?
It's
Wait.
it's a windmill with tangerines on it.
This has been a thing
There's
since
no.
not that or yes.
Hang on, hang on, hang on,
Bro, where
hang
have you
on.
been?
Let me look at this.
Okay,
Wait.
let's pull up a picture of Nami. Bench, do
It's
your thing and
not
pull up a picture of
no,
Nami.
shut the fuck up. That is not a tangerine.
Well, they
That's
explain
just
it in the
4
anime and stuff.
lines.
Yeah, it's
Do
supposed
they?
to be.
It's a tangerine.
It's supposed to be a windmill. Because of the whole windmill
Was there a
thing.
line of dialogue?
In the anime, yes.
Huh.
And manga.
So
But
I'm
yeah,
just saying,
the
it would have made a
whole
lot of sense.
windmill thing, because there's like windmills were a big thing of like Nami's childhood and the village. Like we even saw in the live action, not windmills are a big thing with her. So it's a windmill with like tangerines hanging off it.
So, and they even showed her making a windmill like on her mom's grave without the tangerine thing.
Yeah, that was cute. I saw that.
But it would have made sense
Yeah,
if
no,
they
I'm
kind of
looking at it now.
explained why they did the
Does not.
tattoo change to then transition into the tangerine tree on the boat. It would have worked a lot better than how they did it, in my opinion.
Well, I mean,
Do
either
I
way.
want to?
I
Can I
mean,
segue us completely away?
who asked
That was my
you to
thoughts on it.
segue? I didn't ask you. I do it real quick before we get off live action because I don't want to talk about actual anime. Gross. But the one last thing I want to mention is how many seasons do y'all think this gets to? Because like season 2, I feel like is a thing. But, like, do they get to a season 3? And what do they adapt?
I think they make it
I kind of
to
want to
the
do
end
this
of.
as like a standalone video later, but yeah.
I think they make.
I think kind of in the bag now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they
think it's
make
gonna
it
end at Alabasta.
to. Nope. I think it'll
I think
end
season
after
2
Enos Lobby.
There's no fucking way.
Season
No.
2?
There is
No,
way
I
they
think
make it Enos
that's
Lobby.
where the live action
Oh, the
potentially almost
live action in
over.
general.
I
Okay.
I think they
I was
treat
like,
this
damn,
as
that's
their
a
next
long ass
Stranger
season
Things.
2.
I think
I
they
don't
treat
think
it as
so.
their next Stranger Things.
No, you gotta remember how big Stranger Things are.
If
Stranger
season
Things is
2
big enough
does
to where
if season
Dude,
2
Stranger
does
Things-
as good as
Go ahead.
Stranger Things does, if season 2 does as good as like either this premiere or even like Stranger Things numbers, then I could see it. But the problem is sequel seasons always take a giant hit in viewership. So
yeah.
I think.
I mean,
Fair enough,
Netflix
yeah.
is going to be looking for their next. Netflix is going to be looking for their next Stranger Things, and if this can at least carry over into season 2, I could see them pushing for like 3 and 4 if the numbers keep coming.
I don't think so.
The big
I don't
thing
see it going that far.
we've been disagreeing on this a lot. I do think
Yes,
season
we
2 is
have.
gonna end at like Alabasta is gonna end with season 2. I do think that.
I'm of the mindset
seems very
that season
likely.
2's gonna end with Chopper's arc.
No,
It's just how it feels. And then
Chopper.
season 3 is gonna be Alabasta.
They can
I think you
do
could
Chopper's
legit
arc can
do
be
an
its own
episode
episode.
for most of those arcs.
Yeah.
Chopper needs at least 2 episodes
Maybe 2. Yeah, I'll give 2 episodes for Chopper's arc.
because they have that whole like throwing over that king guy. Like, yeah, you're gonna need 2 episodes to do all that.
Like, because here's the thing, I don't think it's not gonna be a thing where I think they're gonna have it set for 8 episodes for season 2 no matter
No,
what.
they're gonna
Like,
try
I
to
think
push
they'll
for
be
10
fine.
because I think 10. There's a lot of evidence to this from the directors and all this, but I think it was originally
They
supposed to be
wanted
10
10.
episodes, and they wanted to do Logtown for season 1, but
Yeah,
it
it's
got
weird.
cut for
It
whatever
is
reason.
weird that Logtown wasn't here. It was like that thing where it's like, oh yeah, Logtown's gonna end the season.
And there's even evidence showing that they did film some stuff for Logtown because they
cast
cast
Dragon.
Dragon's actor. Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
nowhere here. So
So
there's
how
clearly
much you wanna
saw
something
the
was
back of
filmed
his
in
head?
Logtown.
So the actor for Dragon said that he was posting images and some stuff. He shot everything and he said that Netflix cut it. Like they didn't put it. I'm not sure if he meant that they didn't air the
Interesting.
episodes or if they just removed his scenes from the
They
show.
they
I heard a
probably
thing.
just filmed whatever they did in log. They probably didn't film like a full episode's worth. They probably because the thing with filming is that you try to use the sets as many times as possible. So since they're using Logtown for both the execution scene of Roger in the beginning, they probably also filmed a lot of Logtown episodes in that same built while they had that set. So whatever they needed of Logtown, they probably also filmed there. So I don't think a full episode is completely done, but I think there are a lot of scenes of Logtown probably filmed with Dragon with a lot of the other actors in present day Logtown. But Netflix probably came along a little bit later, said, you know what, this is getting real expensive. You better we're going to cut you down to 8 episodes. And then, so they just cut off Logtown entirely and just scrapped whatever footage they had, which included Dragon's footage.
So I'm gonna ask something a little crazy. If they get to do season 2 and they want to do Alabasta in it, do you think they cut Little Garden?
Yes.
No.
I feel like they kind of have
Well,
to
they're
because
gonna-
that.
What does Little Garden
do you
bring
do
to the
the
rest of the
Giants?
story?
How do you do
I
the
think-
Giants? The big important thing is like Usopp meeting the Giants, and I feel like you could kind of do that in like another area.
You can do that in Ennie's lobby where he meets other giants.
Well, I mean, these
I
are Dory
think-
and Froggy, though. Those are the guys.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't
Go ahead,
think.
Bench. Go ahead.
Oh my bad.
Bench keeps saying "I think" and then just trails off into nothingness. So
Y'all keep interrupting me. So
I think
I give you all the floor.
not on purpose.
No, you can go.
No,
So I
baby.
think
Go ahead,
that
baby.
I think they do Little Garden, but I think that's like cut down to maybe like half an episode. It's still because I think they need to nail in season 2 the exploration and on the sea finding a random island and then getting into hijinks there. That's Little Garden's main purpose. Is they just got in the Grand Line and they see something cool, they go there and they find something cool. So that's what I think they need to
I'm
nail.
Yeah, I'm with you. The exploration felt a little limited in season 1, where it felt like they weren't on the boat nearly as much as I would have preferred.
Like we could have
It makes
half an
sense 'cause
episode.
we didn't have the Mary until like the last episode.
No, the Mary was there.
The last 4 episodes.
What was the name? It was in Syrup Village.
At the
Yeah,
end
but
of
I
they
think
weren't
they need to-
sailing on it.
They just need to
They were
nail the
sailing on the
Grand
Mary.
Line.
It's out there at the Brate
The
too.
Grand Line.
Like, sure, the plot point hasn't been used in like ever, but like they can use like the finding of Little Garden show the Grand Line is like completely random and you never know what you're gonna expect. Like time flows differently, even though that's never been done again.
You know,
So
they
you know
could-
what I'm talking
they
about.
could still do Little Garden,
forgot
but
about
just
that.
make them slightly bigger people, not like giants.
Yeah, I could see that, where it's like maybe they're wearing like, I don't want to say stilts, but like something that makes them look like really big still, like maybe like 12, 13 feet tall, but not actual giants.
Yeah.
I'll put up this like episode guide. Let me know if you guys think this works. So 1 episode for Logtown, 1 episode for Reverse Mountain and Whiskey Peak. I think they combined them because those are both
Yeah.
extremely short arcs. I think you could do an episode for Little Guard. They'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah, if you just cut out a lot of the
Um,
fat of the story, yeah, you could do 1 episode of that.
And then 2 for Drum Island, and then either 4 or 5 for Alabasta. It's gonna be a
Makes
major
4 or
arc this
5
season
almost
in
seems
Alabasta.
excessive.
No, I think
There's a lot of stuff that happens in Alabasta.
Yeah, Alabasta's a
Yeah, but you can cut a lot of that.
No, I think
a
they
lot of Alabasta is pretty important.
I think they could expand on like the kingdom of Alabasta as well. They could get creative with it for sure.
I want to see a Game of Thrones style battle in Alabasta for that like final battle. Like I want to see how that looks. Like I feel like they could really nail that, and people would be super invested at that point. Like I feel like Alabasta is such a like important arc to the entirety of One Piece of like getting people hooked in. Because I was hooked before Alabasta, but Alabasta was almost that solidification. It's like, yeah, I'm really a fan.
I feel like that
It's
was
also Oda's like one of favorite.
Arlong
It's also
Park.
Oda's like favorite arc, I think.
Yeah, Oda loved it so much that he repeated the same plotline for Dressrosa.
But better.
But better. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I guess there's a. Is that everything we want to say about live action? I mean, it's a
I think
lot
so.
more.
Actually, can I
Bench keeps
segue
wanting
us
to segue.
away? Yeah. I want
Yeah,
to. Do we want to give each of
Right.
us like a short like how we got into anime so we can set the stage?
What?
Yeah, sure. I can start.
Talk about like what anime you lean to, I guess.
Yeah, like the
Mhm.
type. That would have been smart to do at the beginning.
Instead of leaning right into One Piece.
Well, I mean, I think you could tell we like One Piece. So yeah, my name's Wolf. I hate anime. I actually only like live action anime. Those are the only live anime I watch. So I'm just gonna be quiet for the rest of the episode. No, I'm kidding. I guess for most of my life, I didn't really care for anime at all. I liked anime games like Persona, but like I don't know, I never gave the medium a shot until around like 2020, around 2020, 2021. I don't remember exactly. Where I watched like kind of like stuff like My Hero with friends or random shows like that. But the show that really got me in was One Punch Man, and that was kind of like the show that really solidified like, okay, this is a medium I really just want to jump into. I was just so in love with the story, the characters, the animation, the action, every aspect of One Punch Man. I absolutely adore. That show means a lot to me, and we still don't know anything about season 3, even though they announced it a year ago, so that's fun.
You can go
But
cry in the
yeah,
corner now.
I'm gonna go cry in the corner. But yeah, I absolutely, it's like my second favorite anime. And
I'll go
just
next because Wolves and Eyes are pretty similar because Eyes
I
also
will say
start.
one more thing I want to say. One more thing. After that, I got into One Piece, and then from there, it kind of got a little crazy because One Piece, that was like the one show I watched for like 4 months, but damn, did I love it. But yeah, no, go ahead, man.
So some pretty similar. I watched anime when I was younger. I did like the typical Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, stuff like that. Then I fell off of it because it wasn't cool yet to be a nerd when I was growing up. So I went through like most of middle and high school without watching anime. So I started in 2020 with the beginning of the pandemic, and I started with the technically My Hero. I did watch some My Hero first because I'm like, okay, you know what, superheroes, it's the whole Marvel craze right now. This will be like a good segue for me. So I watched a good chunk of My Hero, and then I went into the video game anime. So I started with Sword Art Online, which now looking back on it, Sword Art Online is a rough anime to start with.
Oh yeah, I mean for people in 2012 when that, or was it 2012 or 2014? When that came out, it was like, holy shit, video games. But like nowadays, it hasn't really aged the best.
Yeah, it's not that big a change, but yeah, Sword Art Online, and then that's those two shows kind of solidified. Okay, I need to try to get back into this. And then what was my biggest downfall was when I got into the rom-com anime.
Oh no.
So I think one of those shows that really did me in was Horimiya, which I'm still watching the second season of. But that's, I think, kind of set me down a path of like, oh, I actually really like this genre. That's like my go-to anime is a lot of rom-com. That's like a majority of what I watch. And Dark just left because he doesn't like rom-com anime.
No,
And
Dark
he's
just
back.
hates anime.
So yeah, it's like 90% of anime that I watch is like the slice of life / rom-com. And then I have like other shows, like I watch One Piece and My Hero and a couple other action-y shows. But yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, Bench, you go.
I started in like January 2020. Started with Attack on Titan, watched My Hero, and it was over from there. And I've watched pretty much all the big name stuff since then, as well as other smaller things. And I'm a very big anime fan.
Bench has watched
2020?
all the long-running anime. I think
Since
the
2020
only
is fucking crazy. What the fuck?
the only long-running anime that I think Bench hasn't watched. He watched a little bit of Gintama, but that's
I need to
about
get
it.
back to
And
that.
then Yu Yu
I'm,
Hakusho.
yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho, Gintama, and I haven't watched Dragon Ball because that just never clicked for me.
Dude, a real small thing. I was a huge Dragon Ball fan as a kid, but even as a kid, I fucking hated Goku. That's my controversial take.
I did watch Pokemon growing up, but that was before the time like I
Everyone
like
did.
thought of it as an
I don't
anime.
even know if that's like.
Yeah,
anime.
everyone
Yeah.
watched it. No, it's an anime. It's a Japanese cartoon. That's what anime means. Like it's
But
an
like I
anime,
didn't
but
think
like
of it
as
like
a kid,
one.
you don't. Yeah, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, it's a cartoon, like regular show or something.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
I
Especially didn't help like back in the day when I was watching it because they were airing it alongside all the American cartoons on like Kids WB and all
Exactly.
that. So we
Yeah.
didn't differentiate the anime from the American cartoons.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then One Piece is my favorite anime.
Shocker.
Shocker.
Dark you.
Never really, but I remember fucking Moon just mentioned that for him he didn't really get into it because it wasn't really cool at the time. I really didn't give a shit if it was cool or not. I just never really like. I kind of felt
Real
like I feel like I was kind of
hipster
like oblivious to
hours.
it. Like I think I didn't really knew it existed, but I didn't really care about it. And then I had a surgery happen one time, and I was like, I couldn't move, so I'm just scrolling through whatever the fuck I had to watch, and SAO pops up. So I'm like, okay, let's give this a shot because it looks fucking interesting. And SAO was what got me into anime. It's been downhill since.
It got
I
a
went
lot
from
of people into
SAO.
anime.
I went from SAO to a Kami Ga Kill, which is like another junk food fucking anime. And then I started branching out to different categories. I like a lot of the older stuff, like fucking Neon Genesis, Evangelion.
I like the older stuff. Like, can't remember any of them. You like Black Lagoon? I know that.
Yeah, Black Lagoon
Yeah, there
is.
you
Oh man, I can't recommend that show enough.
Yeah,
Code
no.
Geass is another one that's fucking incredible. That's a lot older.
Code Geass, so good.
They keep telling me to watch Code Geass.
You
And
watch
then they gave up
Code
eventually.
Geass.
I don't
Yeah, but
know.
you
I
don't
don't
fucking
think
listen.
I like it. I
But
don't think
besides
I
that, I
like it.
kind of watch a bit of everything. I don't really have like a type. Like I'll watch anything if it looks interesting. If you give me a decent plotline, I'm in.
No,
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
biggest part is the
Story
plot
number
line.
one. Because like
Yeah.
I don't care that much about like the fight scenes as much. Like the fight scenes like add to the series, obviously. But like if all your show has going for it are the fight scenes, then like I'm not interested.
I don't really
Versus
care if
like
it's like a
some
fighting anime or not.
story.
Like, just give me a decent plotline, I'm in.
Yeah, just give me a decent
Yeah,
plot
no,
line.
I mean, yeah, like I like my good old shonens, but I like a good romance, a slice of life, a goof.
Yep.
Even like
Isekai.
a comedy is one of my favorite genres. I'm a sucker for a bad isekai. Even I love, dude.
Konosuba.
Well,
Red, I was no bad isekai.
Bad isekai.
Konosuba's a
Oh.
good one. No, there's
Konosuba's
this
like
one
the
show.
elite of the elite.
So ReZero.
One of there's a show that was okay. There's a show that was airing this season called Reborn as a Vending Machine. I'm like, this looks like dog shit. I'm in. 3 episodes
Yes.
in, guys, it's dog shit. I'm in love with it. It's so
I need to
stupid.
get back to it. I watched, I think, the first 3 episodes and I kind of dropped it. But it's so entertaining.
I'm the same like as you. Like I got 3 episodes in. I'm kind of gonna wait to binge them all because God, it is so stupid.
That is definitely the thing. Like those types of shows, most anime I think probably falls into this. Is they all are better binging instead of watching them week to week.
There's some like I think mystery anime actually lend really well to week because like you get this working with the community trying to figure out what happens. Except if it's a manga, because then the manga readers just want to ruin everything for people.
Have we had a good mystery anime in a while? I feel like we haven't.
The last mystery anime I watched was fucking. What's it called? I have fucking games about it, and I was fucking hyped about it for a long time.
Danganronpa?
I mean,
Yeah, Danganronpa. There you go. Why can't I think about that? That was
we've had this anime season's been very stacked. I'd say in
This
like the
dude-
3 years. In the 3 years I've watched anime, I think this is the best anime season. I don't know about y'all.
I mean, I
think-
mean, maybe. I don't know. I'm watching like 2 shows.
Yeah, I think
3
I'm only
shows.
watching like 2
3
shows right now.
Yes, which is just Bleach and Mushoku Tensei and Zom 100.
Oh, I forgot
I
about
can't
Solomon. Okay, I'm
praise-
watching 3.
I forgot too because that show keeps getting delayed. I forgot about it.
I can't stop thinking about Mushoku Tensei and how good it is.
Yeah, well,
Easily
real
one
quick,
of the best
backstory,
anime of all
this kid-
time.
I
Damn.
recommended it too, so maybe next time respect my taste, guys. These guys are so
We have-
apprehensive.
We're gonna remember
I
that when you
told-
recommend Reborn as a vending machine again.
Listen,
Yeah.
okay. I don't recommend Reborn as a vending machine. That's me. That's my junk food Taco Bell show. Mushoku Tensei is like you go to a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah, Mushoku
But I haven't
Tensei is
watched.
just one of the best anime of all time. One of the best shows of all time.
Jesus, bro.
No, he's not wrong.
Pretty
He's
high
not wrong. Let him
praises.
cook.
Just the
It's
fact
genuinely one of
that
the best anime of all time.
What's it
it's
about?
the it's an
It's
East.
an isekai.
Okay,
In Isekai.
No,
However,
besides that,
it's the isekai, not a isekai. It's the isekai.
what's the difference
It's
then?
okay. I'll explain. It's like the Godfather to a lot of modern isekai because like the web novel was like one of the first isekai along with like Overlord, ReZero, and whatnot, and it was just kind of like the big like reincarnation show that really kind of created the genre as a whole and like really birthed more web novels and light novels to be created, following its
However,
example. And the thing about Mushoku Tensei is that it's not like it does a unique gimmick. It's just that the world building is so expansive and the character building is so deep.
character
Where
writing,
they're
like
the main
they feel
character
human.
you hate. Yeah, exactly. Like the main character, you fucking hate his guts for like the first like 12 or so episodes. And like slowly but surely you start to like understand and care about him. And that's the thing. It's like such a big hurdle for a lot of people. They don't like the main character. They don't want to tune in. Like I understand that, but seeing who he becomes by the end, like even in season 2, just seeing his character growth, like I want to see his journey from like beginning to end. It's genuinely like
Yeah,
a very
and
engrossing tale.
I wouldn't. Mushoku Tensei's thing is he's reborn into this world, but as a newborn child. You see him grow up in this world, and it like tackles some of like the things with growing up and his life. The thing is also is the character like his actual voice, like as previously when he was in Japan, is like that part of
It's his
him is
inner
still as
monologue.
It's his inner monologue, and he's as active as ever. So,
Yeah, and then
and
I think the big I do
the
want to point
struggles
out
he
like
overcomes.
one of the best things is it also arguably I would say is one of the best depictions of depression I have seen in any
Oh,
piece of media. That last episode of season 1 genuinely like hit me where it hurts of
and
how
then
intense they depict it.
yeah, and then PTSD, like they just depict it
Yeah,
all
oh yeah,
so well. Last episode was crazy, and like language
crazy.
depiction, and it's just
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
they created new languages. Like there's a whole ass demon language, a whole ass like human language technically. Like there are multiple languages in this fantasy. The thing about Ashoka Tensei, if you just like fantasy, it is worth giving it a watch because it is just a fantasy show. No
Yeah,
bullshit gimmicks, no weird stupid stuff that just makes it like it's just proud of what it is, and I love that about it.
So
I'll
I'll
get
just say
real
this
for a
though,
second.
without okay.
Yeah, if an anime that can get me invested in a major plot line that a dude can't get his dick up, then it's a good ass anime.
Okay. We didn't need to
What
point
the
that out. We didn't need to point that out. We didn't need to point that out. It makes more
Spoilers.
sense if you watch the show. Yeah, exactly. But no, it's worth it. When you had to say something.
I was just gonna say well, because I've only watched the end of season 1. I haven't started season 2 yet because I just kind of want to just binge the show.
Yeah, fair.
But what I did appreciate about that show is the fact that, unlike other isekai, which is kind of funny that if what you're saying is true, that this is kind of like the grandfather of isekais, that they're doing a poor job replicating it, because this is one of the few isekais that I've watched where his previous life actually affects his new life.
Yeah.
Like so many
exactly.
others where
Oh,
so many other isekais like completely forget about the old life like within the first episode. Like
Yep.
Konosuba,
It's like-
as much as I
yeah.
love it, like he never brings up his past life. Like it's never
It's
comes up.
weird. It's because it's like, well, he had no life anyways. He was a fucking loser. Like that was every isekai basically.
Yeah, every isekai is like, I
Yeah.
had a previous life, but never gonna bring it up. Never gonna bring over like trauma or emotions or memories or anything. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start fresh right here. But no, Mushoku Tensei just says, okay, oh yeah, you know all that trauma I had back in my previous life? It's all still here.
It's still affecting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. You
It's
can't
so
get better
good.
than that.
That's
And
the
then you have the
bench
other shows that
trademark.
do it poorly, like Oshinoko. It's like
We're not gonna get into that. We're not getting to that.
We're
Let's
not
move into the
getting into
next
that.
topic. Let's move into
I
the
know.
next topic. Because I don't want to
Do we
get
want to touch
into
on?
controversial arguments.
Do we want
I
to
want to talk about
touch
Bleach.
on
Can
Zom
I talk about
100?
Bleach?
Okay, we can talk
No,
about
I
Bleach.
want to talk about Bleach first.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what the
Okay.
fuck are they doing with this season?
They're-
It's like
they're
every
cooking!
fucking week they're like angry at the rest of the anime like space. It's like, no, we're gonna do it better than you. How the fuck is each episode better than the last? The animation is unfucking real. Like, and I'm not even the biggest animation like simp or anything where I look at every frame and how good it. No, I like animation, like good animation, but this show is fucking mind blowing with some of its animation.
They're cooking.
They're
It
cooking.
was one of the bigger reasons, bro. And it's gonna get
It-
better. As someone who's read the manga, like, fully, they got a
Yeah, it
lot more
only gets
coming.
better.
Yeah, I'm anime only, so I'm like pretty much surprised by every crazy twist. I did get spoiled by one thing, but yeah, no, in general, like Bleach, it's one of those series that I feel like it's so much hate, and none of the hate feels justified. Most of it, like, there's a lot of like things that are really dumb about Bleach. I'll admit, but so many
every
of the
anime, though.
things. Yeah, of course. I mean, every anime has its issues, but Bleach, I don't know why they just like do something. There's something about like how Kubo
Yeah.
writes his characters that I am so obsessed with.
Like, I don't even remember like half the characters' names in Bleach, but I'm invested.
Okay,
That's
I
a
want
mood, though. It takes me a while to remember people's
I,
names, too.
no, I forget names. I'm just awful with remembering names, but like I remember a good amount. I remember the important ones. Not most. The lieutenants are fucking shams. Most of the lieutenants suck. Okay, I'll just say that.
Squad, yeah. Kenpachi lieutenants are the that are like I care about.
Kenpachi's what was her name?
I
Yachiro.
like Rengiku.
Yeah,
It was,
Rengiku, Yachiro.
yeah.
Regan Guku, yeah.
God, who else is there? Nemu. Nemu's great.
Nemo's
But then you got
amazing.
like fucking. I'm sorry, Komomura's lieutenant, that fucking dude with the sunglasses. He is a fucking joke. That dude does jack shit. And then there was like that blonde dude. I think he was Gin's lieutenant. Like, it's pretty funny just how much of a failure a lot of the lieutenants are. I am a lieutenant hater.
Good ones matter. That's all that matters.
I'm sorry, say again?
The good ones that matter, they're getting the proper screen time that they deserve. So that's all
Yeah,
that matters.
exactly. They don't spend a lot of time on the bad lieutenants. I feel like even Kubo's like, this guy sucks. Let's just ignore him. But no, like, genuinely, like, the writing in Bleach is just like Thousand Year Blood War is so interesting because like I hear a lot of manga readers don't really like the ending, so I'm interested to see how they change that up in the anime.
I'm
Don't
trying to
spoil
remember
it.
the full story.
Don't spoil it.
No, I'm not
Don't spoil
spoiling,
it.
but no, I'm talking about like what happened and why people don't like it. I'm not gonna get into like the actual, but I think it was
Yeah,
it was
I get
rushed or something like along those lines. I could be wrong.
Well, it was
Yeah,
no,
he
it
was-
was rushed because like
He
what
was
happened
told
was
finish
that
it now.
Kubo. Yeah, exactly. Because like Show to Jump were like, it's not selling as well. Just finish it. They are notoriously very brutal.
Yeah, so that's a big reason, and he's fixing it now. He's going back and adding new things to the anime.
Yeah, I mean, he's such a major part of the staff. I will say, something that manga readers complain about, and they complain about everything. All right, there's no appeasing manga readers. I'm just gonna be honest. But one thing they're really aggressive on is apparently like there's a lot of like episodes that feel rushed, and I don't see that at all. The big one was Kenpachi's episode, which arguably was like my favorite this season. But I just kept seeing like a lot of manga readers on Twitter saying like, "Oh, they rushed it. It went too fast." It's like, really? Like, I bet. Did you think it was rushed?
I don't think it was rushed. However, there was one panel that was cut that I think was pretty badass, but I didn't think it was rushed or anything.
Wait, when that chapter came out in the manga, right? That was a big fucking deal. People were losing their shit, but we were waiting that entire series to see this shit. So I
There's
kind of
a
get the
big
sentiment that like people were hyping it up for a long time,
Yeah.
but I
Oh,
don't think it's anything too crazy.
No, there's I won't spoil it, but there's one scene in particular that's like well, I can't really say it without spoiling it. There is a thing in like the big three, like each like Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. There's a I guess I'll just say a meteor scene, without spoiling too much. But each series has a big meteor scene, and like it was a big moment for Bleach fans. Like finally, Bleach has got animated along with One Piece and Naruto. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, are we done with
Ooh.
Bleach? I mean, I could talk about
Do we
Bleach all
move-
day. That's all
I'm
I'll
back,
say.
so yeah, stop talking about Bleach.
Zom 100?
Garbage. No, I'm kidding. Zom 100 is a fucking amazing show, but man,
It's
those
so
production
good.
issues, you can really feel them.
Yeah, but
I
also
think
like
the problem with Zom 100, it's like it feels like I'm like getting invested. I'm enjoying the show, and then I hear that the next episode got delayed. And it's like, well, damn. Like I keep forgetting when the next episode comes out. It's like a weird thing where it's like, it's clear the show wasn't ready. Like you could have just waited for fall season. I don't know why you just needed it out now.
But also, like, you have that's the concept of the show is so fascinating. And, like, the characters are written so well.
No, I mean I love all the.
I don't know
characters.
about that, but yeah, they're good.
I wouldn't say the characters are like the peak of anime writing, but like I do definitely like care about most of them. Except
All these, I will say, this show feels like a show I should have just waited until the end of the season to watch because it's like, oh yeah, I'm getting into the episode, and it's over.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where it's like each episode just feels very jam packed, but also it's like when the episode ends, it's like fuck, I gotta wait a week. And even then, you gotta wait 2 weeks sometimes because the production issues are so severe. Apparently, like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think just like the whole idea of zombie, like, because the thing is, there's really not many zombie anime, and the ones that are out there aren't very good.
High
So
School
like,
of the Dead.
Wait a minute, hold up. This show is not getting top shots right now, bro.
I don't give a shit about High School of the Dead. That show's way too fucking horny for me. But in a case of like,
thoroughly enjoy that show. Fuck out of it.
oh yeah, okay. I wonder why.
No, I
That's all
actually
I'm
really liked
saying.
it. I'm sad that the creator passed away, so it's not gonna get continued or anything. But
Yeah,
I
saw that.
thoroughly enjoyed the show. I wanted more of it.
Hey, I mean, that was like 2011. You were holding out really long for a season 2 then. God damn. But no,
We end the
it's just,
trenches sometimes.
it's just a thing. There's just not many zombie anime. So like seeing one like this and like the zombies not being CG but actually hand drawn, that was the part that was surprising to me. Because like,
Well, just the way
those
they
zombies look good.
tackle zombies is interesting. Is there, like, for some reason everyone's blood is super colorful. I guess that's just to make it so not everything's red.
It's fun. Yeah.
But they also made the zombies comedic, which is also fascinating. Which is like a fun take
I will
on
say,
it.
one of my least favorite zombie tropes of all time is in this show: running zombies. Zombies don't run. The whole point of zombies is that they can't run. So why the fuck are these dudes sprinting? That's all I'm saying. I
That's
hate
fun, bro.
running zombies. I genuinely think this trope is dumb. Can we stop doing zombie media with running zombies, please? Like that's all I ask.
Nah, it's too easy to make them a giant threat when they're running, so no one's gonna stop doing that.
It's just such a lazy way to make them a threat. It's like, oh, let's just take away what zombies are meant to be, which is they can't run. They're slow and lumbering, but whatever. But yeah, no, I mean, what, Bench, you have anything else to say other than its peak?
Yeah, it's been very good. I always look forward to watching the episode. There is something I want to talk about that none of y'all have watched, though. If I can
Wow.
do that.
Oh, dude's going for a big one.
He's going for like the
I've
most
been-
niche shit right now.
No 18 plus shows, by the way.
That's not that. I'm a massive fan of Fairy Tail and Eden Zero, the creator's other series. The anime season 2 has been going on, and that's been very good. The manga's good, story's good. I kind of just wanted to shout it out because I really like it. And then
Eden Zero never clicked with me, but I'm glad you're enjoying
I
it.
assume we're saving the shows we're watching, like
Yeah,
other shows, towards the end.
I will say it's funny though, because one day in chat, Bench just said, "I'm sad," and it's like, "What happened?" It's like, "Man, Eden Zero made me sad." I'm like, "Really?" Because like it did not
Yeah.
look like a sad show at all.
It gets pretty dark. It gets pretty dark.
I think people sleep on that creator, but he is able to tell some really good stories.
People,
You don't
fucking
get
hate
three
Fairy Tail.
You don't get 3 successful anime and manga and be a bad creator.
I mean,
A
I can argue that.
mangaka hardly gets 1 anime made of their work, and he's gotten 3.
Okay, I don't know about that. There's like a lot of anime every season.
Yeah.
And there's like 4 seasons a
From
year.
the
It seems
same
like
creator.
almost every. Well, I mean, if you keep working at it, you're probably gonna get multiple because there's fucking
Yeah.
anime is just getting pumped out every season now.
I think it's fair to say that there's some creators who like make multiple series and they're all bad. Like that's a possibility.
It's totally possible, but still, I feel like everyone's gonna get at least one.
But, yeah,
Of course, a
Bench
lot of them
wanted to
don't get
shout-
their deserved season 2.
I wanted to let the two Bench and Dark talk about their JJK because I don't really care for that show, but they've been really loving it apparently.
Yeah, the season 2 has been very good. They started with like a 5 episode like prequel arc that really landed, and pretty much they adapted everything well, and it was already a great arc, so there's not much to say. And now, pretty much the instant classic of the modern shonen genre arcs is getting adapted, and it's just one of the best shonen arcs of all time. So I can't wait to see the internet flip out over this.
Everything is
I want
peak
to
with
say,
No, Shibuya
So
is just like another level.
the Shibuya arc is kind of fucking nutty.
I don't believe it.
But when I first started JJK, I kind of just figured it would be like another stereotypical shonen. It really isn't. It does stand out on its own, which surprised me a lot. Because I try to stay away from shonen because I kind of already like you say shonen, you kind of already know what you're getting into. With this one, it does stand out. It has really good animation, especially in the second season, gets fucking nutty as shit. They were fucking paying these motherfuckers overtime. But
That's Mappa. They're
recommend
paying. I don't know if they're paying them.
okay, you know what I mean. This is the
we
figure of
won't
speech.
talk
Hopefully
about
that's-
business practices here. Let's
Yeah.
just say that.
But
Nah,
I highly
I
recommend
don't-
it, especially if you're someone who's skeptical on shonen. It does things to stand out on its own.
I don't. Man, I watched like half of season 1. I did not like that show at all. I was just, and I actually really like shonen, but I don't know, something about that show just did not hit for me. I have a lot of my own personal issues, but I won't take away from the excitement. I'm glad a lot of people are enjoying JJK.
I've watched like
Well,
3
wait.
episodes. I thought, oh, okay, this is neat. Don't
Yeah,
know if I'll go back to it.
Moon, I want you to sit on your thing. What's the big rom-com this season?
This
It's Moon's time to
season,
shine.
so this season specifically, I think it depends on what you're looking for. Because if you watched the original Horimiya from 2 years ago, it's a big deal right now that it's getting its quote-unquote second season, even though it's technically not a second season.
It's
Because
all
what
cut
happened?
content, right?
It's all the cut content from the manga, yeah. So it's weird to watch because it's scattered throughout the timeline. Like the first 2 episodes are from even before the main characters are dating. So it was really weird watching those first 2 episodes, and they're all kind of going back and forth. Do they like each other? Do they not? I'm like, what do you mean? You're already dated? Like, no way. This is early in the timeline. So I'm kind of hoping someone eventually makes a perfect timeline of how to properly watch Horimiya between the 2 seasons, because that'd be kind of interesting to watch.
Dude,
Or just
it's
read
gonna
the
have
manga,
a
I
weirder
guess.
watch. Yeah, it's a crazier watch order than One Piece at that point. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You
Uh,
gotta
Something
read a
like
watch
Fate.
than Fate eventually.
You gotta watch 2 episodes of this, and then you gotta watch 2 episodes of Piece. I feel like it'd be interesting. I think what they should do is just do a Blu-ray release or a release in general, where it's Horimiya plus the cut content altogether,
plus missing
Like-
pieces, and it's in
yeah, and then
correct
kinda
order.
Slice it. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool, but no one's gonna do that. You're gonna have to look up online, when to watch everything. What's that series called? Dark. That's Monogatari.
Oh my god, dude. I
Yeah,
keep
Monogatari
thinking
is a
oh,
top
maybe
tier
I
fucking
will.
series, bro.
I'm like, oh, maybe I will get into it, but that stupid ass watch order.
Isn't
it's
the
intense.
scientific railgun series also one you have to watch in a weird order?
Yeah, there's a lot of series like that. So for Fate's like that too.
No, not
Fate's
really.
a lot
Fate's
less
more
confusing.
individual.
Yeah, it's easier to get into, but it's still it's just weird. It's you don't have just let me watch Fate season 1, episode 1, season 1 of Fate. There's the specific shows, the different shows, compared to One Piece, where it's how do I start One Piece? Episode 1.
To be honest, the problem with Fate is that the community makes it 100 times worse than it is. Just fucking pick up what you want to watch and watch it. You'll be fine. If you want to watch Zero, just watch Zero. If you want to watch Unlimited Breadworks, you can watch it. Be fine.
You don't need to watch the Stay Night from 2006, the Studio Dean one.
Here, look, we don't talk
No,
about that, okay? It doesn't
Yeah.
exist, okay?
What about that
We only talk
dragon,
about
man?
Ufotable.
Look at that dragon. Tell me that's okay.
But if you're not into Horimiya, which everyone go recommend Horimiya. It's probably one of my
Yeah, that's
top 5
pretty cool.
favorites.
I do
Because
wanna
it does
watch
one of the very few things that very few rom-coms actually do, is that the main characters are dating before the last episode. It's god damn it.
Okay. You're holy shit.
It's if you've been in the trenches like I have, you know that's hard to come by.
That's a rarity. That's a rarity.
We're a space room.
It is that's And that's also the reason why that's the trash anime I just watched. My first girlfriend is a gal, because they're actually dating before the last episode. It's like fucking
That's my
finally.
guy.
I need
Would
more
you
than
recommend
that.
it? Because it's been on my list for a hot minute.
My first girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's a little horny, so if you don't mind horny,
Yeah, see ya.
it's all.
I
That's
don't
what's
mind
really
whatsoever.
funny about it, though. It's only
Dark likes
horny.
it, yeah.
It's only horny in like the first like 2 or 3 episodes, and then after that they kind of forget. They're kind of like, okay, we can drop the horny now because you're already invested in the show. So now we'll tell like a normal rom
Hang
com.
on. Wait, hang on.
We got you in with the horny.
No, dude, the horny scares me. I don't like horny shit in anime.
Yeah, get through past.
I'm
Get
not
past
a
the
big
first
fan
like
of
2 or 3
so-
episodes, and you'll be past the horny. The only thing horny after the first 2 episodes is that every girl has gigantic tits, but they don't do anything with them.
What are they supposed to
That's
do
just
with
part of
them?
their design.
What do you do with it?
You got elaborate?
Oh.
They don't expand on that plot line much.
They really don't. But besides that, they actually have a nice relationship, because it's funny with my first girlfriend as a gal, is that I don't even know why she said yes to it. It's bad. It's poorly translated, because it's not supposed to be gal, it's supposed to be gyaru, which is like, that style of like Japanese fashion.
Yeah, of course.
But they translate it for some reason into English, or translated version into gal fashion, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, I don't even know why they started dating. She just kind of said, let's do it, why not? And then they actually do relationship stuff, and they're like, oh, actually, this is actually kind of nice. And
Why
then
couldn't it be me?
once I watched that, I realized like why so many of my favorite ones all have that kind of similar plot line.
You don't know why they're dating?
What?
That's the plot line that you don't understand why they're dating?
Though they date for like other reasons, and then they start actually like develop like a real relationship down the line.
It's dude, that's a classic romantic comedy. Like that's not even like a anime thing. Like just in general,
Yeah.
like date so that like my father sees that I'm married for the whole
Yeah.
thing. Like that's a Hallmark movie trope, bro. I watched 1,000 of those movies with my sisters as a kid, so I know that fucking trope like the back of my hand. Like, hang on, that's a common trope with all romance comedy.
But the other show, so the only other show that I'm watching, the other rom-com, is I guess if it's the non-sequel for this season, that's like the big one, is The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. It's stupid, very much
These
so.
titles.
And
These
the
titles.
title doesn't help. But
How they keep getting worse.
they keep getting worse. But it's very one note, but it's very well done one note, I guess you can call it that. And I thought this would be like a weird show where like almost every day she's like forgetting glasses. No, there's like significant time jumps in between each episode. So these episodes only really take place on episodes where she actually forgot them. And of course, hijinks ensue because she's like super blind without her glasses.
We can make an anime about it.
Yeah, we're like on. They can. But we're like on episode 9 or 10 or so right now of the season, so we're waiting to see. Let's see, are they gonna do the typical bullshit of they don't get a confession until the last episode? It's looking like it. It's like,
Is it
God damn
hype?
it.
Are there like episodes where you're like how we watch Bleach and like cheer and go crazy? Does that happen?
If it's well done,
there's some rom-coms that do that.
if it's well done, yes, but I don't think this one's going to get it. It's probably just going to get a satisfactory, and that's about it.
There's some rom-coms out. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I'm still scarred and mentally traumatized by the Angel Next Door from last season. That broke me. I'm like, why do I do this to myself?
These titles, the Angel Next
Princess.
Door. I mean, actually, honestly, that's not as bad.
Wait, no,
Oh,
I didn't say the full. I didn't say the full thing. The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten.
Okay,
Oh,
that's worse. Thank you.
There it is.
I was like, no, that sounds too good. There has to be more to that title.
I actually think that was not even a direct translation. Like, I think the direct translation is even worse. I'm gonna see if I can go find it while you talk.
No, I mean that was a show I kind of wanted to check out, but I'm like, the thing about rom-com is that like I kind of have to be in the mood. It's pretty rare for me to like really get into one, but like when I do, I get really into it.
It is. I will say, like, both of them are really done, but they're just following every anime trope. The only thing we're missing from Girl I Forgot Her Glasses, the only thing we're missing is like a fucking Hot Springs episode. That's the only thing we're missing.
No. I
There's
hate
always
that
a
shit,
Hot
man.
Springs
First.
episode.
Oh, I hate them so much. Whenever the Hot Spring episode comes out, I'm like, yeah, maybe I could just skip this episode because I never like them.
Okay, so here's the original title, at least directly translated. The Case of the Neighborhood Angel Turning Me into a Degenerate Unaware.
hang on. They might be onto something there.
And what's funny is, like, the
That's a little
title
bit.
doesn't even really work, because, yeah, really all she's doing for him is she's, like, cooking for him, like, because she's actually like, a skilled chef. So she cooks for him, does, like, some house cleaning. They pretty much, I will say that's, like, the charm of Angel Next Door, is they have very, happy home family vibes. Like, they became a married couple just by, like, accident. So that was kind of fun to watch, but you still had to get to, like, the confession and
Accidentally
everything, and of course
very
that was literally the last 5 minutes of the show.
The last 5 minutes. It's getting worse and worse, man. I
Nice
guess we
understanding.
can get it.
Oh my bad,
Can I
I'm
talk
gonna
about
cut you off.
Gundam?
It's like, okay, they're sick of the rom-com talk.
Bench out here is just like, I can predict what Bench is going to say. Yeah, Gundam. It's really good.
I was
Anyways.
gonna.
Now, go ahead.
I've been watching Gundam 00 on middle of season 2, and so far that's been pretty good. Not the characters have been very good. The first half of the first season, I wasn't as hooked, but then something happened, and then I literally binged 12 episodes in a day and haven't looked back. So, like, all the characters are very good. The plot line, just like, I've never watched the Gundam, but man, now I've got to watch all the Gundam because if they're all kind of like this, I'm here for it. Giant mechs, political intrigue. I like just the solar energy power and like the space and everything. I'm just hooked on Gundam now, and I'm keep planning to watch Iron Blooded Orphans next.
Got him into Gundam, boys. We won.
I got to get back to
By
Witch
we,
for
I mean
Mercury.
me.
I kind of just fell off it.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in
Gundam
you,
is
man.
like a series. Mechas just don't do anything for me. I was going to try out 86, though. That's going to be the next show I watch, but
I hear that's good. I need to watch
yeah, I
that.
hear
as well.
that
I heard
one's more
heard a lot of
similar
good
to
things
what
about that.
Yeah, that's more similar to what I want because like I'm just not big into mech battles. But dare I mention a video game? Armored Core 6 got me into a mecha mood, which is just like the farthest thing that from what I expected. So I'm like, I want to give it a mecha anime a shot, and I think 86 is
Like,
going to be down there.
The thing with
Try Infinite
86 is
Stratos.
Yo, if you want a
the
mecha
thi-
anime,
That's not
the
happening.
thing with
Whatever.
86 is I need them to announce a season 2 for me to get back in the mood to like, okay, I'll check it out because I don't know if I want to watch it knowing the story leaves off and won't be continued.
Dude, I'm used to
Because
it, man.
it's a light
Yeah,
novel,
that
so
definitely
it's not
does
like
dampen my interest.
because it's a light novel,
I
so it's not like, oh yeah, I can just read the manga. I have to read a book, and those are gross.
Oh no!
No, not a
Oh
book.
no!
not reading.
I'm fine with reading. I read a few light novels. Like I'm down to read a light
I want to
novel,
read
but
some more
I
light
do agree.
novels. I just got into
They're-
manga though.
The thing about light novels is that they're just they're just shorter books. Like so they're actually pretty like fun to read. Because okay, a little bit of a tangent. My problem with so many books is that the words are so fucking tiny, so I can never read it. I have to put it right to my face.
Old Man
The
Wolf.
the thing
gotta
about
put
light
something
novel that I
less in it.
like is that no, I have glasses. No, I'm just saying like these words are so tiny. It's like I can't read this shit. But with a light novel, the words are actually big. I really sound like a 5th grader, by the way.
Like the thing with all
Wasn't that
the
the whole thing?
anime
Is
that
like
I
manga
watch,
and anime are targeted towards like teenagers.
Yeah, really. Go ahead,
the
Rich.
thing is like with all the anime that have light novels, the anime is like more interesting than reading a book to me. Like ReZero, Moshoko Tensei, the anime production values are so good. I'm watch the anime instead of like ruin the story with a book. So
Bro said
at least
ruin the
that's just
story with
me.
the book. That's funny. But no,
Yeah,
I get it now. I'm the same. I usually prefer to like watch the anime. Like it's pretty rare that I read ahead in a light novel. I usually just read the light novel when like say with Overlord, like I watched the season 1 and then I just like read season 1. Like I read what happened in season 1, but I haven't read ahead in Overlord or anything. So yeah, I get what you mean there.
Well, it's like if I'm gonna read like a light novel, it's because the anime isn't continuing because I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I am or at least not recorded. I hate repetition, so I hate rereading stuff or being reintroduced to something. Like, so if I'm gonna read like what I did with Comey, if I'm going to read Comey, which I did, we need to get on Comey eventually.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
But I did not read any of the manga that was already adapted into the anime. I read everything after that because I don't want to do all that again.
Yeah, no, that's funny because like when I read the manga for it, like I started from the beginning because it's like, damn, I want to see like how it is in the manga form too. I'm a sucker for like seeing that stuff like in both mediums, like how just like interesting things like cut chapters, cut content, like what did they cut, stuff like that, and like just seeing how it's done in the manga versus the anime. It's a fun way to visualize it.
I do want to
The
say
most common is like when there's a season done, like Wotakoi. Like I watched that, I'm like, oh, this is actually really neat and unique, and it's not getting a season 2, so I bought the whole series, and now I'm reading through that. I'm on volume 4 right now.
What'd you say?
Segue into Comey talk. Before you mentioned that you kind of had a Gundam mood. No, not Gundam, but like a mecha mood. If you want something that's mecha light to like ease you into it, it might be time for you to watch Code Geass. I think this is it.
No, stop.
This
I'm
is the
not doing
time.
that. No, it just doesn't look interesting to me. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm more 86 looks more interesting to me. But
Code Geass to this day has probably the best ending in any anime I've watched.
Code Geass is just a phenomenal watch, beginning to end.
Here's my thing. I watched Gurren Lagann. Like that was the mecha anime that kind of made me realize I don't really care for the genre. Because my issue wasn't even like, oh, the writing, the characters. I just don't like mecha fights. I just think they're kind of boring. Which is like
Gurren
a weird...
Lagann, while good, is also very over the top. So.
Well, that's my thing with mecha fights is that there's just nothing visceral about them. It's just two big robots fighting. Like there's no. It just compare that to like a sword fight or like a like a boxing match. There's just nothing like truly visceral about like just two robots fighting. It's like, you scratched my armor. Like, okay, cool. Oh man, that must have hurt. This is just a personal thing for me though.
That makes sense.
But I guess we can talk more about our I guess not currently airing shows. What's it called? Dark. Dark, you haven't spoken about a show in a while. I feel bad. I want you to talk more.
So the thing with me is like, I'm really weird. I read manga more than I watch anime. I don't know if that's a weird thing. That's just me.
Oh my god. No, he's a manga reader. Okay, you're kicked off the podcast.
Yeah,
See
it's
you
just,
later, brother.
I don't know. It's hard for me to get into TV shows these days. I don't know why. It's just how it is.
Nah,
But
all of our attention spans are shot. Thanks, TikTok.
No, I will not take this. My attention span is strong. Okay, I'm just
says the man who can't watch hour-long episodes of regular TV.
No. Okay. We're not bringing up this conversation again. Hour long is stupid. Why is it an hour? Like 45 minutes, you had it, and then you fucking extend it by 15 minutes for no fucking reason, okay? The reason why I don't like hour-long episodes of a show is because to me, I gotta experience that all at once. And so you're gonna tell me, oh, you gotta sit there for an entire hour. Like, I got things to do, so I have to like set up the time beforehand. Versus, I just got some lunch. I can watch an episode of like, I don't know, like Bleach or something. Like that's 20 minutes. It's like, let me just go watch an episode. Like I have lunch. Let me eat it with my lunch. But like if I want to watch The Boys, you're gonna sit here for a fucking hour. I finish my food like 20 minutes in, and then I'm just sitting there. It's like I have things to do. I don't have you're gonna expect me to like set up all this time in my day for you?
I don't have things to do, so hour-long episodes are good.
That's the thing, is like hour-long shows are meant to be more like the premiere thing, so it is something you're supposed to like set aside time to do and sit down and watch it.
You're not that important. I don't give a shit. I don't want this show to think that it's above me. It's like, you have to just set aside your time. No, fuck you, man. Like what? Like The Boys. Why couldn't they just divide the episodes in two and like make a longer, like more episodes? Like what was wrong with that? It was like, no, it has to be an hour long. These motherfuckers want to get closer to movies. They want to get closer.
That's the thing, is they want to get closer to movies. That's Wolf can't have it.
That godforsaken medium of movies that has ruined society as a whole.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, it's stupid. But yeah, that's a bit of a tangent. Well, where did that come from? Dark reading
What
manga.
Bro, I hate it, bro. About me reading manga. Holy
Nah, it
shit.
pisses me off. No. But anyways,
I know, I'm messing
continue.
around. Yeah, so I've been into JJK. I still got a ways to go. I've been kind of slacking on it, but I was in the mood for some junk food the other day, so I started looking around and I came across the Gashi Kashi. I don't know if any of you guys read this or like watched it before.
What? Tagashi Kashi?
Yeah, I can post an image of it. Give me a second.
No. Oh, this one. Oh, I actually want to check this out. Is it good?
Yeah, it's been on my list for a hot time. It looks trashy as shit. I've read like a couple chapters. I was like late the other day. I'm liking it so far. This might be my new like junk food show. Besides that, I haven't really been up to much. Just catching up on Jujutsu Kaisen. How about you, Moon?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Yeah, I want to hear what Moon's. Moon and I had a certain backlog thing we really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, our August was kind of interesting.
Okay, I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, because you did it first.
Yeah, no. So just one day, I'm like, I want a new rom-com anime. I was in the mood, and it's very rare for me to get in the mood for it. But like when I do, I'm like, all right, let's do it. And I saw Comey on Netflix. And
I think I recommended it too.
yeah, I remember that. And I was like, yeah, you know what? People talk about this, and I binged that show in like a week or so. Which is, listen, you may say like, oh, the week, that's nothing, bro. For me, that's crazy. Finishing a 24 episode show in a week. I mean, that must mean I love it. But I fucking love that show, and I was so invested. And I'm like, well, now I gotta know what happens. So your boy bought every copy, every volume of the manga that's currently.
I remember,
released.
like in our chat, you were every other day. You were like, "I'm back at Barnes and Noble."
Yeah, no, I don't know, cause like when I get into a series, like, dude, it was bad with One Piece in those 4 months. I'm a One Piece fan. You guys should have seen me when I started One Piece. I was the annoying One Piece fan. I was at the
Bench.
worst when it came to that.
Well, everyone
Bench
goes
isn't
through
that
that
annoying.
stage. Everyone goes through
Yeah, but like,
the One Piece stage.
yeah, no, like there's
Yeah.
just that long stage, and that was me with Comey, where like I was so invested in these characters. They do this cool thing where it's just like the characters. It's very comedy focused, but also like the characters are just so likable that you want to invest yourself. Except Yamai. Yamai sucks, but
Yamai does suck.
you're genuinely just like want to see them just hang out. Like that's the thing. But because my problem with a lot of slice of life anime is that the characters aren't likable enough for you to really want to see them do normal stuff. Like I'll get into it later, but Nichijou had that problem where it's like, I don't care about these characters enough. And the thing with Komi is that the characters were so good where it's like, I am fine with you doing 50 chapters where you're just hanging out and doing shit, because like these are genuinely really well written and interesting characters. And the main character, the problem with a lot of rom-coms is that the main male character is the most boring motherfucker. Tadano's a Giga Chad, bro. That's my goat.
What's funny is that he is, because he's supposed to be like, his whole gimmick is that he's the most average person ever. Like everything about him is average.
Socially aware. That's like his big thing. And but no, I mean just in general. And also just like the thing about Kobe that's different is that usually the trope with a lot of rom-com anime is that the girl is bubbly and the dude is shy and quiet. And it's just cool to get like more of a reverse role. And I don't know. I really, really love the series. And I got Moon into it. Moon was already in with the anime, and then I got him really into it.
Yeah, like it was kind of weird. Like I kind of like made peace with. I don't know. We haven't heard anything about a season 2/3. I don't know what it's considered. I don't know if all 24 is considered season 1 or season 2 or not. But whatever. The next installment of Komi Anime, we haven't heard anything about it, and I kind of made peace with that. But then Wolf got in, and then Wolf got into it, and I'm like, oh man, I really missed that show. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit down and read this fucking manga, and so I did, and I spent the next like couple of weeks, read like 300 chapters. Because I think I started around like 120 something, and that's what you told me to do. Because that was right around where the anime stopped, was around 120 something, and that's where I started.
Yeah, 129.
Yeah, so
I know that off the top of my head.
So then now I'm caught up to 411, and we're waiting for 412.
Oh, you're on 411?
Yeah, I finished it like last week.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. That chapter was fucking crazy.
Was it though? It was just them at the festival.
No. Oh wait, did you not get to the end of that chapter?
411 was like it, and I go to 412 and says it's nothing there.
Oh no, it's way past 412 at this point. I think it's at like 419 now.
Wow, I need to find another website.
Yeah.
My website's only to 412.
Oh, that's funny.
Homework to do after this episode.
I know what I'm doing.
Hey, yo.
I guess what's it called? And no, what? Why does it have to be that way? What are you talking about? Fucking
I don't know.
freak.
You told me.
They're all super wholesome except for Yamai.
Yamai's a piece of shit. But
Actually, no, there are a couple perverted characters in that show.
Yamai and
Yamai's just
what
the
was her
worst.
Asagi, the green-haired chick.
Yeah,
She's just
we
kinda,
we almost
she's
see
a lot
none
better
of her.
later on though.
No, after like where the anime ended, she was like almost non-existent in the manga. Like she
Yeah, that's why
popped
she's
up
a lot
every
better.
once in a while, and then yeah, she's better because she only pops up like what 5 times in 300 chapters.
But yeah, no, I watched that, but a couple of other shows I watched. I was in the mood for a comedy anime. And the problem with comedy anime is that I watched Gintama, and that's my favorite anime of all time. And the problem is, like, where do you go once you've seen the peak? So
You've seen peak.
yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, where do I go from here? And so, like, I tried watching Nichijou, and that's definitely like what a lot of anime fans consider like one of the best comedy anime. I thought it was boring as hell. I'm sorry, and I know it's a controversial take, but like the problem with that show, I have way more I could talk about, but I feel like I've been talking long enough. The big thing is that it feels like it tries so hard to be like a slice of life, and like the problem is that like the comedy just doesn't land. It's absurdist humor, but none of the humor feels absurdist enough to really land. And like, okay, let me at least get invested in the characters and the slice of life aspect, but the characters are so boring and one dimensional. It just leads like I gave that show 6 episodes. Usually it's 3 episode rule. I gave it 6 episodes and I was just not into it at all.
What
And
was
it
the show
really
called?
sucks. Nichijou.
Nichijou.
Um,
Oh, I think I've
and
heard of that.
I really wanted to love it because a lot of people say it's similar to Gintama. No, it ain't. It is not.
It ain't.
I will say, if Moon, I recommend just watch search up the principal and deer scene in Nichijou. That is the best part of the show, easily, and it's like in the first like it's at the 5th episode.
Oh,
And it's just like,
Nichijou, My Ordinary Life.
yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah, I did
animation.
hear
I will
about
give
this.
it this.
I did hear
The
about
animation is 10 out of 10. The animation is like actually like phenomenal, but that's not enough to really save like just how bored I was by it.
this. I think I added
But
this
also,
recently.
and one real quick thing, I actually just finished this show like literally right before the podcast. This other comedy anime called the Base.
Oh yeah, I just
it-
finished that too.
Oh, did you? You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it earlier this year. I watched like the first couple episodes because someone in the Game Mess Discord recommended it to me, and then I kind of just fell off it, and then I finished it like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a fun show. I
If we're
had a
talking
lot
about
of fun.
absurdist humor, that's like the definition.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like, because the thing with Nichijou, this is like a weird comparison, but like Nichijou, the problem with it is that it tries so hard to be cute. So like the funny scenes don't hit because it's like, okay, you're trying way too hard to be cute. Asobi doesn't give a fuck about that.
No.
The characters will get ugly as shit, drawn in the weirdest way possible, and I love it. That show
They're on
is
something when
so
they
dumb.
animated that.
Yeah, and also it's the same. The director who did this show did Assassination Classroom, which is funny enough,
Huh.
and he did a few. I think he did Angel Beats as well. Like he's actually a pretty well-renowned director, but it's just a weird thing because it's like all of these like more maybe not serious shows. I don't know about Assassination Classroom, but I know Angel Beats is pretty serious, and it's just like seeing this show that's so trying to just be as insane and wacky as possible. It really hit for me. It's short, sweet, 12 episodes. It's not perfect. I think some of the humor just doesn't really land.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the episodes,
But some of them I
just
think
kind of
is really
a little
do.
boring. Yeah, that's the thing. When it lands, it lands. And I think the thing is that the jokes come out quick enough. Because one more thing on Nichijou. The thing with Nichijou is that if they have a joke and it doesn't land, they're going to stay with that joke for like at least 5 minutes, and the joke will never be funny. But they're going to make sure that you stay there and think it's not funny for 5 minutes. Whereas like Asobi is like the joke doesn't land, it's like okay, we're already on to the next one, and that's the mark of a good comedy in my opinion.
Yeah, it's super fast because there's like 3 plot points per episode in Asobi Asobase.
Yeah.
So
no,
that like
that's
before
another
you're
thing I
like,
really
oh, that
love.
wasn't really that good. They're already on the next plot.
Also, the ending theme is fucking amazing. It's so funny. Because it's like the opening is just like a classic slice of life opening, and then the ending is just straight up death metal.
It's death metal.
But yeah, that's everything I've been watching. I guess Moon, did you get everything on you been watching?
I'm actually looking through my continued watching right now. It's like, did I forget anything?
Because I think we're about to ready to wrap up. I think we've been going on a decent while.
Yeah, we should probably wrap
Not
it, 'cause
nearly as long
we
as
don't
a
want to burn.
slice of gaming episode.
We don't want to burn everything we've watched like in the first episode.
Yeah, of course.
What was the other thing I just watched? Fuck, I think it was on HD Dive. Oh yeah, I watched Chivalry of a Failed Knight because of a Dark's recommendation.
Oh my god, dude! Dark was
How
so
was it,
proud.
bro?
It's like, wow, something I recommended was actually watched because he's so
It's
used
okay.
to failing with me.
Okay, motherfucker. That's not the reason. The reason why, because in my opinion, like fans of the show are in the trenches. Okay, we have been waiting for season
We're in
2.
the
It's never coming. I feel like no. Every time I feel like people mention the show's in a negative tone, when I feel like it is like a hidden gem. Even though like it's trashy at times. Like I know it's not perfect, but that's just how I feel. So when he finally said, you know what, I'll just watch it, I was like, we fucking got another one.
And it's
What do you
all
think about
right.
that?
Not gonna season 2.
It's all right. I mean, once again, it does. At least it does. I'll give it the credit that the main characters got together, not at the last episode, so it gets some high regard in my book for that. But besides that, the action was fine. I kind of like how with Wolf feels about mechs fight in general. I'm just over that like fighting in general because I don't know, fights never do anything for me, at least when it involves the main character, because we know the main character is either going to win, or if they lose, it's going to become plot relevant for something else later on, and then they'll win again later on. So it's, I don't know, fighting just never does much for me. So I'm like, okay, let's get this fight over. Like the powers were cool, the ideas of all these people having like different powers was cool, but I was never invested in any fights. I'm like, okay, we just back to like the regular story. So once like there was story, I'm like, okay, cool, this is cool. But whenever like, okay, we're doing another tournament thing, gotta watch the main character obliterate everybody.
So it's tournament arc the anime when you think about it. That's all the fuck it is.
There's so many of those.
Yeah, no, I mean, I tried seeing if it was on Crunchyroll. It wasn't on it, so I was
no,
like,
it's on a high dive.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still have a high dive subscription, but it's a bitch to set up for me. So I'm like,
I think it's on
Hey.
Hulu too. That's why I watched it. Like this was a couple
Oh.
years back, mind you.
Oh,
So you
nice.
might want
Hulu.
to check that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I have Hulu on right now for Bleach and for
I'm
Undead
not sure if
Unluck,
you-
which I think next,
Hulu.
which
Oh, I forgot you off.
oh, yeah, I just wanted like with Hulu, I have it for Bleach and Undead Unluck, which is a show I really want to talk. I would love to do next episode or maybe a upcoming episode where we just like talk about like the shows coming up and what we're excited for.
Yeah,
'cause
that'd be good.
there's
Undead
we
Unluck
really
would
win
definitely
it.
be there.
Yeah, because that's easily up there. But Dark, you had something to say? Or?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if Hulu like changes like what they have in stock for like episodes, like if they animes go in cycles or not. But I watched it there a couple
I'll
of years
check right
back.
now. I just love to have in stock.
Yeah,
That is not.
contracts and everything.
Yeah.
No, so they
No, they
take
don't
stuff
always have
off a
all the
lot.
shows. Yeah.
One of the most interesting things was when I started watching Bleach. Hulu was actually about to take Bleach off of it, and that's how I was watching it. And they were like, "It's gonna leave September 31st." It was like, "Oh shit!" And then September 31st came around. I'm like, "Damn, I guess I can't watch Bleach." And then it just like the whole being deleted on September 31st, it just went away. And it's like, "Oh no, we're actually gonna keep it." It's like, "Oh, okay, this is more convenient for me then." But yeah, I think we're pretty much all burnt out on anime now. I think we all.
Yeah, because we don't want to burn it. We don't want to say everything we've want to say. Save some for other
Yeah.
episodes. I will say
The
though,
big
it's
prob-
just quick tangent
Go ahead.
on like the whole like contract thing with like, especially in America, it gets really fucky sometimes. And I don't think there's a better example than what happened with teasing Master Takage-san. That was a bitch to watch, especially if you were watching dubbed. It was because the first season had a cast in English on Crunchyroll. The second The second season got bought by Netflix, and then Netflix gave it a new English cast, and it was only on Netflix, and it's still currently only on Netflix. And then High Dive got season 3, but they brought back the original season 1 cast.
Okay,
I
that
like
that
the
is
most
dumb.
Netflix cast I've
Uh-huh.
ever heard.
Yep.
I will say real quick, Dark. Chivalry of a Failed Knight is on Hulu. What are these character designs? This main
Fantasy.
girl, what the fuck?
It was
No,
Girl.
this main girl. I don't, man. It's wild. No, so, you know, that's one trope I'm kind of burnt out on. I'm kind of tired of the fantasy high school, magic high school thing. It's getting a little tired. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it comes up a lot, and I'm like, I don't need another one.
Well, it's because it goes back to that whole thing of why manga and anime exists. It's targeted towards teenagers and kids in high school.
Oh
So
yeah,
of course they always want to set it in high school so the kids can be like, I relate to this, even though I don't have superpowers.
No, the thing is like that's fine. Like I'm fine with like anime being set in high school, but like it's like we're in a fantasy world, and then it's like, okay, you're going to a high school. It's like fantasy world. I don't want to go to school.
Like a Persona can do it,
I
anyone can
guess-
do it.
Persona's not in a fantasy world though. That's like real world. Well, fantasy world, but what? That's a
The
whole
metaverse is real,
conversation of itself. That's a slice of.
The metaverse is real.
Hang on.
Zuckerberg
Hey,
brought
no,
it to
Persona
us.
got anime. We can
You
talk
know,
about this.
no, we can't. No, that doesn't count.
We can only talk
That's
about
a
the
slice of
anime adaptation.
Yeah, which I heard is not good.
It's
I haven't
alright.
watched it.
It's okay. It hits all
but
the
yeah, no,
major beats, and that's about it.
I think that's pretty much everything we wanted to talk about. Like a very casual episode, very much cutting each other off all the time. I apologize.
Yeah.
Bench seemed upset. I'm sorry, Bench, if I cut you off, buddy.
I didn't say anything.
You
It's
did
a tone of
earlier!
voice.
Never mind.
Oh, we hope you guys
This
enjoyed this
show's
episode.
a disaster.
Yeah, hopefully you
we're
enjoyed
trying
it.
out.
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly. Yeah,
Bi-weekly.
that's the big thing. We are not going to be doing this weekly because
We
I
need
don't
time
know.
to watch these
We'll,
shows.
we'll run out of stuff way too quickly.
yeah, Slice of Gaming takes up a lot of our bandwidth already, so it's like this is going to be a bi-weekly show. So we hope you tune in whenever you can because I had a lot of fun. It was a fun episode.
Yes, I agree.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
you're gonna learn all my deep dark rom-com secrets. I got a lot to talk
Yeah.
about.
Oh god. But before you leave, like make sure to check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Audible. Like the podcast, we're growing, really supports us. And yeah, just check out Slice of Anime. Check out our other subsidiary, Slice of Gaming. Well, our original. Would you call it a subsidiary? I guess it's
Yeah.
just
No,
our
this would be the
original show.
subsidiary. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you enjoyed our subsidiary. Go to our main show as well, Slice of Gaming. But yeah, we hope you guys had a great time. Everyone say bye.
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 Okay.